And welcome to the program, everyone. I'm your host, Susan Knowles. Please check out my website at susanknowles.com. And don't forget to follow Stand for Truth Radio with a variety of shows I do, such as Knowles on the News and God's Views on Political News with my co-host, Bill Cloud. To hear all the podcasts, just go to Spreaker.com or download the Spreaker phone app and type in Susan Knowles. My shows can also be heard on iHeartRadio. The easiest way to find the shows, just go to susanknowles.com and look for that big iHeartRadio logo. Click on that and it'll take you right there. Also, follow me on Twitter at Susan Knowles, and you'll be in touch with everything I do. I'm also on Periscope and YouTube, so a lot to remember.
Wow.
Now, I know, everywhere. So my guest today is Rodney Lee Conover. During a 25-year career in entertainment, Rodney Lee was a writer for the Rush Limbaugh Show, a conservative stand-up comic for 12 years. I know, hard to believe. Working with the USO, he entertained people and troops all over the world. He also co-hosted talk radio for SiriusXM for 9 years. Along the way, he was on the staff of Fox News, Sony Worldwide Network, and has been published in every medium, including print, television, and online. Rodney
I just can't hold down a job. That's what that is.
I know, but I wasn't going to say that, okay?
Wow.
So Rodney's also run for Congress in California's 8th District.
Don't tell anybody that.
I know, we'll forget that. And he's currently the host of the online radio show Conover U. It's on Wednesday mornings. Rodney Lee is also a writer, producer, and senior editor for Joe for America and IHaveTheTruth.com. So that's JoeForAmerica.com and IHaveTheTruth.com. So welcome, everybody, Rodney Lee Conover. Hey, Rodney, how are you?
Well, I'm doing just great. How are you, Susan?
I'm doing just great. I read your whole portfolio and everything you've ever done in life. I just want
Not really. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but as I said, it just sounds like a guy that's getting fired all the time, doesn't it?
Well, join the crowd, right? You're right at home. You're in California, so that's
thrown out of every decent building in LA. Sounds like.
Now, I've
been on staff at Fox 3 times now.
Well, you need to go back.
Really?
Yes, they don't have any conservatives over there. They've gotten rid of all of them. So
Tucker Carlson is perhaps the greatest show I've ever seen. Watch Tucker Carlson. I love him.
I like Tucker.
Other than the ties, I wish I was Tucker Carlson.
Well, I think Tucker's good. But I just wonder if he has the experienced, seasoned credibility that people are looking for.
He does. He has more. He has way more than needed. In fact, he may have a little bit too much. And this is where I'm going to point and say, hold on just a second. You must get these dogs under control.
Who let the dogs out, It's like...
Yeah. Check your text right away. Okay, I'm back to the show.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
We were talking about Tucker.
Tucker Carlson has more insight, more research, and more knowledge than anyone ever at Fox. And I don't know why any liberal ever even goes on his show, honestly, because with a smile and with a laugh, by the end of the show, that person looks like a complete idiot when Tucker Carlson is done with him. And I just sit there and I go, why would anyone go on his show? Tucker Carlson just completely obliterates and just so with charm and with he doesn't scream, he doesn't yell, he doesn't interrupt, he doesn't do all the things that I hate about the other hosts at Fox. The things that I like, I love Sean Hannity. If I was in a fight, I want Sean Hannity on my side. And in person, I think Sean Hannity is a wonderful person. But I hate his show. All it is interrupting and I just can't stand it. And Bill O'Reilly speaks for itself. Tucker Carlson is a wonderful, wonderful show to watch. And so, yeah, they are getting people over there and you watch. Tucker will hold his own and he'll have great ratings. And I'm just glad they put him in O'Reilly's spot. I just really am. I watch it every night, and I think you should too.
Well, and maybe I will. I wish they would get more conservatives, because I just see conservatives kind of being, moved out of there by the Murdoch kids that don't really like conservatives. And I'm nervous about it, because we don't have a lot of conservative news outlets these days.
Well, is it that, do you know for a fact they don't like conservatives, or is it a business decision? Because I see it as a business decision. If I owned Fox, okay, and Fox was a brilliant idea by Rupert Murdoch. He obviously saw a gigantic void in news coverage, especially in the United States, where you've got an entire country of 300 million people, half of them being, let's just say for argument's sake, half of them being conservative, not being serviced. Okay, so you've got literally half the country available to you. And he said, why don't we have at least a right of center, or at least a 50-50 channel that is, branded, fair and balanced, whatever. Let's do it. They did it. They start to dominate because the liberal side is chopped up into many, 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 many liberal news outlets. And of course, they kick everybody's, behind. And now they're saying to themselves, okay, we've got that whole audience. Now we're going to start to chip away at the other side of the audience. It's a business decision. Now they're going to grab some of the not so conservative people, the middle of the road people, and yes, some of the liberal viewers. And eventually they want to have all of the people, because why? Because they're in business. And that's how I see it. But I think Tucker Carlson is as conservative as you get.
Oh, I do too. No, I do too. And I think, but I only see like Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity that are kind of really left. And for me, I want to see Shepard Smith gone. And I know that he's not going anywhere. His job is going to be there for a long time. And he's about as liberal as they get. I guess what I'm looking for.
I know, but is he an opinion guy though? Is he an opinion guy, or is he a news commentator?
You know what? He's become an opinion guy. I mean, he's become a guy who's supposed to be reporting, and he gives you his opinion. I don't like Shepard Smith. I make no bones about that. And I just, for me, I want a conservative TV station. And I know Fox wants something different, perhaps. I want to see conservatives. Yeah. That's it.
All right. Well, let's you start a conservative TV show.
Sounds good.
When are we going to start that?
How about today?
Well, you know what? Here's what I propose, Susan Knowles. I propose you go out and find the funding, and then I'll line up the programming. How about that?
See, that's
and maybe you can have your own show on my network.
Why, thank you. I think that's the problem, because conservatives aren't opening up the wallets. The left does.
You are going to be very surprised what's going to happen in the next 8 to 10 months with television. You're going to be very surprised. Everyone's going to be very surprised, because what Fox is doing now is creating another void that was there before Fox got there. They're creating another void, and you're speaking to it right now, and that is people who are not being serviced now, right. Like they used to be serviced with Fox, but now they're like you. They're going, hey, what happened to my Fox News? Where did it go? It went somewhere over there in Kelly, what's her name, land, and it went there over there in Shepard Smith land, and they're looking around. That void will be filled, trust me, because it's people who have a lot of money like more money, so it'll happen.
Well, and it's a good thing, because we have people, groups like CNN and Washington Post and the New York Times and, this left-wing liberal media that just keeps putting out more and more garbage, in my opinion. And we need to balance that. We look at the president, for example. Hopefully.
They're dying, though.
Hopefully, but
they're on the way out.
Well, when the Comey memo came out, CNN actually had a rise in their viewership because of the Comey memo. So it's like, they die and then they put out garbage and then their ratings go back up again. Maybe they're figured out that's what we need to do in order to stay alive.
Well, maybe, but, they're on the way out. They just are.
You heard it right here, ladies and gentlemen, from Rodney Lee Conover.
Look at the New York Times readership.
Yeah.
It's not going up, it's going down. They're out of touch with even themselves. Even their ombudsman says they're out of touch.
Wow.
They're narrow and hanging on by their laurels. Wow. And the cream, unless something very, very ominous is done with the internet, which I don't think can happen just by the nature of people just loving the freedom of the internet. Unless something terribly ominous is done, the freedom and the cream of the internet will rise to the top. Will be able to and see, and new technologies will pop up. And it's just, the internet has allowed individuals to communicate with individuals, and I think that's the key to it. And it won't go away. It'll just get stronger and stronger. And you see people like Julian Assange. Let's just take him. Consider him a great ally. Politically, him and I couldn't be more opposite. He's a far left, and yet him and I are an ally. We are buddies. Him and I could not be more joined at the hip, simply because we want things to be free. We want things to be wide open, and we want things to be transparent. And that is more important than our politics. And it's that keeps my hope alive. Now, having said that, I do have an exit strategy out in the far East Caribbean, and you are on the list, Susan.
Thank you.
Bring your beautiful you are on the list to come there should this theory of mine be completely wrong. And I'm open-minded enough to the possibility that I am completely wrong about everything. So I do have that exit strategy.
Well, at least I'm on the list. And I'll tell you, one of the things, when we're talking about the media, and it's also social media too, we had the co-founder, Evan Williams, that came out from Twitter, who came out over the weekend and said, hey, look, if Twitter was responsible for electing Donald Trump, then I'm sorry. We won't let that happen again. And we're starting to see this huge push for censorship for conservatives on Facebook and Twitter and all social media. When are we going to get the conservatives who say, let's do our own social media platform and we're going to put some big bucks
towards that? Isn't that just as bad?
No, because I'm conservative. See, it's for me, it's not just as bad. No, but I'm kidding.
It's just as bad, Susan. What you're articulating is horrible, and it's not just Twitter. Our Facebook overlords have the same philosophy, and it's Mark Zuckerberg has been accused of, and rightly so, of electing Trump. He did elect Trump, not so much that it was people pushing Trump, but it was people exposing Hillary when the major media would ignore everything about on Facebook, bringing the facts of Hillary to light that I think got Trump elected. I think Trump got elected because of Facebook, not because Trump was this great candidate. He wasn't. I think he got elected because Hillary was a horrific candidate, a terrible person, and a corrupt. He was exposed was through Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg has essentially said what this Twitter guy said. Essentially, he said, I'm not going to let that happen again. And he's showing his cards. I mean, it's obvious. Anyone who does business on Facebook knows the score. And that void is going to be very difficult to be filled. Very difficult. I think the only way, and may I say that Mark Zuckerberg is not only but he is, and I personally am in love with him. I can't say enough about that man. And my name is Jimmy Hemorrhoid. Oh, and I have no idea who that person was earlier who was bad-mouthing him. But let's move on to a different subject. I think you get what I'm saying.
Well,
void is going how that void is going to be filled is beyond me, because Facebook is driving 87% of traffic right now. So
Yeah,
it's going to be a hard one.
it is going to be a very difficult one. And that's why, unless we get people who are on the right willing to open up their wallets and make donations, the next election is going to be difficult. We're already seeing where conservative posts are being removed. And I've had that happen to me. You're limited on things, on and on and on. And I realize it's their own platform. They can do with it what they want, but that's not really how they advertise it.
Yes, it's a private company. I'm all for freedom. My position is very simple. If you have a company, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
If I have a company, okay, I have several companies, and I do whatever I want with those companies. And if somebody tries to tell me what I can or can't do, and legally speaking, of course, right, I tell them to go
fly a kite. Yeah.
So I'm certainly not going to sit here and tell Facebook and Twitter what they can do with their companies. I'm not going to do it. I believe that companies should be free within the legal limits of the law to do whatever they want with their companies. And I think that should be everybody's position. And I don't believe that the strategy is to open up a competing company that says, okay, we're conservative and we're going to battle you with a conservative type Facebook. I don't think that's the strategy. I think the strategy is to open up, period. Just open it up and let the cream rise to the top. That's what I think the strategy is, because I think liberals and conservatives will flock that says we're not going to. If you had 2 billionaires, let's just take 2 billionaires. Okay, it sounds like a Steve Martin bit from the 70s. Okay, here's what you get: a couple billionaires. Now, have them buy MySpace. Buy it. What's it worth? I don't know. Can't be worth that much. No. Just buy it and put a few commercials on television that says, hey, MySpace is back and we don't mess with you like Facebook does. I think people would flock over to MySpace and they'd be back in business. I don't see, if I can figure that out, why can't a couple of smart billionaires figure that out?
Well, we do have Gab.ai, and it is very much
from scratch. You can't start from scratch.
Yeah, you're right. It's very difficult because they're looking for donations from people, and people aren't flocking to them.
It's going to take 15 years. We'll all be out on my island by then. It ain't happening from scratch.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not. Sorry. MySpace has the brand name. MySpace already has. They still have millions of users that don't use. Right. They have the brand name. They've got the thing set up. They're ready to go. We can't trust Google. We can't trust anybody. It's beyond me why somebody hasn't. I could afford it. I certainly would do it. But I think that's your answer. Or these people to get them declared a status, which they clearly are. Of being monopolies. AT&T was declared a monopoly at one point in our history and broken up. Monopoly. Whether you're trying to be a monopoly or not is not relevant to the Taft-Hartley Act. If you're a monopoly, just because you're better than everybody, through no fault of your own, just because you're a genius that has grabbed up 87, 90, 95% of the market, just because you're really, really good, well, tough bananas.
Yeah.
You're a monopoly. And monopolies are illegal in this country. Sorry.
Well,
even if it was not intentional, you're a monopoly and we have to break you up because we can't have monopolies because bad things happen. And clearly these companies are monopolies and we need legislation. I'm not Mr. Government involvement, but I am wary, and I am very aware that this is a country of laws, and that's a law.
Yeah.
That you break up monopolies. If this isn't a monopoly, I don't know what is.
Well, and maybe Donald Trump can, start working on those type of things if he could ever get other things done without the media interfering and everybody else interfering with what he's doing. What do you think about right now with Donald Trump, President Trump, over in Israel and Saudi Arabia? How do you think that's been going?
I love the fact that he walks up to the dude, the head prince or whoever he is. I'm not a name guy. I love, and I knew he was going to do this because it was when President Obama went on his little apology. I wasn't against that. I mean, the president can do what he wants. It's part of his job. And he went around basically going, hey, I'm the new president. I'm going to respect you. And he was doing what he thought was right. And who's ever president, I'm rooting for. I was rooting for him to do a good job because I want America to be great. I just want to live here, and I want to be great, and I want the country to be great. I have my pick for president, and if he doesn't, it's like a football team. Maybe I want this quarterback or this coach or this play call or this strategy, and if they do something else, I still root for the team. I still want my team to win. You know what I mean? I don't sit there and go, okay, now I want my team to lose because they didn't use my quarterback. That's stupid. Yeah. If you want your team to win. So Obama goes on this apology tour and he bows to the king of Saudi Arabia. I don't know if they use kings or if they use whatever. It's king, yeah. And he bows, and everybody has a conniption fit. Well, okay, he bowed. Sorry. Maybe that's the practice. Maybe it's not the practice. But I heard Trump's going over to Saudi Arabia. I'm telling you, the show a week before that, because I would have said to you, Trump is not going to bow. He's going to walk up. He's going to satin him a man. I knew he was going to shake his hand in the American style and force, or maybe they had it worked out beforehand. You never know. They might have had hey, look, dude, you shake my hand like an American shakes another American's hand, and there's going to be something in it for you. And if you shake my wife's hand, there's going to really be something in it for you. Lo and behold, there was a bunch of business deals made the second those handshakes went on. Now, whether that stuff, pans out really well in the end, I don't know. But great move. I mean, Trump wasn't my guy, going in, but he's the president. And I want him to do well, and I want the country to do well. And that was a great move. I love that. I love the fact that Melania, some hot Eastern European babe goes over there, doesn't wear the scarf, shows up in her, designer clothing, and shakes the guy's hand. Everybody in that country is probably, their heads are exploding. Their heads are spinning around. They're swinging the curvy knives. They're banging their heads against the wall, crying, and she's just shaking his hand. Hey, what's up, my man? I thought that was. I just started laughing, and I know it's not right to laugh, but it was just a silly, funny moment because you have two groups. You've got this highly religious underclass in Saudi Arabia that is being fooled by their royal family, who spends most of their time in the penthouse at Caesar's Palace wearing designer jeans and playing craps. Okay, I know that for a fact because I spend a lot of my time doing that. And then the rest of the time, they're over there wearing the robes and playing like there's all these rules about not eating, pork and stuff. And so you've got this underclass who is banging their heads against the wall going, how dare they shake hands with a woman? And then you got this whole class in America called liberals who are banging their heads against the wall at the same time. And I just thought it was hysterical, and I wish he would do more of that. Because not so much that it's in your face, but just that it's funny to me, and I love laughing.
Well, the thing I really liked about it is, a lot of people thought it was a great thing for us. It's $110 billion that is going to be spent in the United States. We are going to give them, military weaponry. But
What's
the thing
new?
of it is, what's new? We've been doing that. Nobody's talking about it.
We're going to give military weaponry to the country who 17 out of the 19 9/11 terrorists who knocked down the World Trade Center were from that country. That country?
Yeah.
Big victory.
Yeah.
And headlines, Osama bin Laden came from Saudi Arabia. Okay, continue.
And it's the same country
Continue telling me how great this is.
but it's the same country that we have been allied with, friends with, whatever you want to call it, but since 1923 or something?
Oh, we sure have.
Yeah. So this is nothing new. Everybody's looking at it like, oh my gosh, this is, Trump's going over there and doing this. No, I'm sorry. It's been going on since 1923.
That's right. And they pay blood money to the Wasabi or whoever these guys are that fund all the terrorism. And it's a joke, Susan. It's a joke on us. And we invaded the wrong country, as far as I'm concerned. When we invaded Iraq and Afghanistan, we invaded the wrong country. I'm tired of doing business with Saudi Arabia. I've had enough of these guys. Why did we have to go into Kuwait? Do you know, and I've been kicked out of many a nice casino for this opinion, by the way. Do you know why Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait? Persian Gulf 1. Simple question. I've asked this to 900 Republicans. Why did Saddam Hussein invade Kuwait? Simple. I'm not questioning the intentions of George Bush. I'm not questioning the intentions of the American military-industrial complex, whatever that means. I hear that a lot. I'm just asking a simple introspective question. Hey, why did Saddam Hussein invade Kuwait? Do you know? Does anyone want to jump on the show here and answer the question that Rodney Lee just posed?
I don't think so.
Okay, Rodney Lee will answer that for you, because Kuwait was slant drilling into the country of Iraq. Now, I wonder where the Kuwaitis learned how to slant drill. Do you think they figured that out on their own?
Maybe Saudi Arabia?
No, they learned it from the Americans. It was a technology developed in America. If you watch the movie, what was it? I can't remember the name of that movie. It's a very famous movie. Anyway, it involves drilling on a slant so you can get under the border and into somebody else's oil. Ugh. And Saddam Hussein obviously doesn't want Kuwait slant drilling into his oil. And he said, stop it. And they didn't stop. So he amassed a giant army on the border and said, we're coming in if you don't stop this. And he kind of looked over at the U.S. where he was trained. And he gave the old wink, wink, I'm going in. And we kind of went, well, at your own risk. And he went in. Now, should he have gone in? Should we have done what we did? I don't know. I'm not making judgment on what happened after that. I'm just saying, why is it not well known why he went in the first place? Why is it not known who taught the Kuwaitis how to slant drill? Why is it not known that the whole frickin' thing was over this technology that came from Shell Oil? It's just preposterous, Susan. And why haven't I seen a 2-hour documentary on the 17 Saudis that flew airplanes into the World Trade Center? Their backgrounds, where they were educated, why they did it, where their families came from. Why haven't I seen that? I feel like an idiot. I feel like one of these conspiracy theorists, even bringing this up, and yet, how come I don't know this information? Am I being too serious? You bring a comedian on here and he starts talking about this.
No, a lot of people feel the same way as you do. I'm not saying, but I guess it's kind of like, why bring it up now? It's been going on forever.
Yes, I bring it up now because now Melania's over there in a designer dress, shaking hands with the head prince, and I'm laughing at it. And I'm laughing at it for 2 reasons. First of all, it makes the liberals' heads spin around. That is the best reason to laugh at it. But I'm laughing at it because, and if I don't laugh, I'm going to cry. Because it's almost like we're mocking ourselves. We're going, hey, yeah, we know what the Saudis have been up to for the last 100 years, and we're going to let them keep doing it, baby. So let them keep doing it. Let Fort Hood, let all these terrorist acts just keep getting funded. Let's not go to the source, which is the funding. No funding, Susan, no terrorism. That's it. I sound like a liberal, but I'm not. I mean, I'm a liberal in the classic sense.
But I think that's what they were kind of talking about. I think that's what they were kind of talking about this time, and that was the whole deal of what President Trump was talking about, is that, you Muslims over there in the Middle East, you've got to take a major role in stopping terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
And the way to do that, and I think he even talked about it, was to stop the funding. Now, I've never heard necessarily another president like Obama go over there and say those things and say, Muslims, you have to be responsible for what's going on because these people are in your country, and the funding, the state sponsored funding of terrorism has to stop. And again, I think that, with Saudi Arabia, we have all since 1923 looked at it as, well, we're friends, and friends, we don't really talk about these things among friends. Is it the Saudi government doing it with the state-sponsored terrorism? Is it the nationalists of Saudi Arabia? Who is it exactly? So we can kind of say, well, maybe it's these other people over here that are kind of doing it, and therefore we're going to go ahead, continue our friendship with you, Saudi Arabia, and now we're going to sell you arms for $110 billion, so you can start taking care of yourself, and that we're not going to be doing that as much anymore. Whether that's going to happen, I'm just saying that's the scenario. That's the what we're saying.
Well, I hope that happens. I really do. I'm certainly willing to give our new president a chance, just like I was willing to give President Obama a chance. I didn't come out of the gate. He wasn't my guy. I didn't vote for him in 2008. I wasn't thrilled with the alternative. So, and I'm man enough to admit that there was a part of me that was very proud that this country was able to elect a black guy, or at least a half black guy, or at least a quarter black guy, I'm not sure, to perhaps put a small chapter, a bad chapter of this country behind us. Of course, that didn't pan out, but at the time, I thought, well, maybe this will help race relations. It didn't, but I was still willing to give him a couple years at least to maybe take up a wonderful opportunity that Barack Obama had. Now, people talk about the economy. People talk about redistribution of wealth. They talk about stimulus programs. They talk about corruption and this and that. But forget about it. The fundamental transformation, blah, blah, blah. Forget about it. The worst thing about President Obama was this. By far, the worst thing about President Barack Obama is this. The opportunity that he missed to bring the races slightly more together. That dude had an opportunity like nobody since Abraham Lincoln to bring people together, and he blew it. He blew it so badly. He just messed up. And whether he did it on purpose, and whether that was a strategy of his, and whether that was an Alinsky tactic, or what Clowen Piven, whatever those dudes' names were, fine, we can argue about it. But the fact is, coming in as the first black president, if you don't count Bill Clinton, coming in as the first black president, he could have really, really stuck a knife in that whole perception of racism in this country. He could have been the dude. He could have been the dude for the ages, and he blew it. He blew it so poorly. He blew it. He made things measurably worse.
Yeah.
That is way worse than, screwing up the economy in a way. It's too bad it was 8 years. It could have been 4 years, would have been much better. But screwing up the economy, people can make an argument for that can be good for an economy to have a recession, because it actually, you need a recession every once in a while to keep a big economy strong, because it teaches people to get rid of things they really don't need. People get fired and they start businesses that they've been thinking about starting for years. People understand, hey, maybe we don't need this equipment, and maybe we don't need, in other words, a recession cuts the fat.
Yeah.
And then you come out of recession and it booms. So that's not the bad thing. The bad thing is the opportunity lost.
Well, and I see it the other way. I see that it was an opportunity that he took, knowing that he intentionally wanted to come in, transform America. He wanted to create, and he wanted to, he wanted to make that happen. He wanted to cause the chaos among the American people and transform it. And by doing so, he didn't want to bring the races together. He wanted to separate them. And he did a great job in that respect doing that. He took down this country to a place that it's very difficult to come back from. And right now, those liberals, progressives, communists, whatever you want to call them on the left, are still doing his dirty work now that he's gone.
Well, perhaps you're right. I don't think that. I don't think it will last. I just don't. I don't think it will last, because I've always ascribed to the theory that a conservative is a liberal that just got their first paycheck, and they see their gross pay and their net pay.
Right.
And that will happen. Most people grow up. Not everyone is Bernie Sanders. Not everybody lives in their parents' basement till they're 40. I know that I hear a lot of talk about, kids are stupid. And that just kills me when people say that. And it just irks me, because kids are not stupid. Kids are so far from stupid that it's stupid to say that. Kids are so much smarter today. When I think of how smart at 25, the average 25-year-old right now is so much smarter than me when I was 25. I mean, a million times smarter. What kids are is impressionable. And that's the problem. I was impressionable when I was 25, when I was 18, when I was 15. I was very impressionable. That is never going to change, I don't believe. And kids are the same now. When they're 15, when they're 18, when they're 25, they're very impressionable. Unfortunately, they've been given the wrong impression. Now they're going to come out of that. They're going to realize, unfortunately, a lot later than we realized. Like when I was 12, I wanted a job. Yeah. I wanted a job so bad that I cried that 7-Eleven wouldn't hire me till I was 16. I wanted to kill somebody. I just couldn't believe they wouldn't hire. What kind of a rule was that? I think it was 15. I have to be 15 to work in this stupid store? I want to work there now. I don't care if you pay me a dime an hour. I want to work right here, right now. And I wanted to kill the guy. I couldn't believe he was telling me he wouldn't hire me. I have to go back mowing lawns and make 3 times what you're going to pay me? No, I want a real job. And, I learned that at a very sadly, kids now are going to learn that when they're 27. And that's sad. That is sick.
Very sad.
That's a sick impression that's been made on kids that, again, are way smarter than I was. 10 times.
And back then, Rodney, way back then in the Wayback Machine, right? Yeah. My mother had us volunteering. At 12 years old, I was actually volunteering for the Red Cross, because the parents taught their children. I know. I was actually
I
doing
was
something, Rodney.
volunteering with the Red Cross. I
You were
went over
you
to
were
Africa.
crying.
Fed the
I
whole
was doing
continent.
something.
I was Superman. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I'm just saying, parents then were teaching their children how to prepare for the real world in
Yes.
that one day getting a job. Not what we see these days. Although I'm hearing now that millennials are now starting to want to buy their own houses now, because they remember the big thing was, oh, we don't want to have a mortgage, we don't want to be like you, we want to be free. And now they're learning, in order to be free, sometimes you got to have a mortgage in order to have your own house, your own rules. So that's at least that's a change from what we've had for the past 8 years.
Well, I'm just saying that it just really ticks me off when I hear it mostly from conservatives that, oh, these kids are stupid, and it's like, you get the government you deserve, you really do. And if things are bad, if things really, really, really are bad, like everyone says they are, and I don't think they are, I don't think they're anywhere close to bad. I've seen bad. I was very lucky to be in show business for 25 years because I got to go all over the world and get paid for it. I was really lucky, and I got to interact with all people from just about all cultures, and normal people, average people, rich people. I just was really lucky, and what it taught me was that this country kicks ass a whole lot more than people realize. The best thing about America. You give somebody, say, hey, write the 10 best things about America. I guarantee you not one person will put this on the list. And this is the best thing about America. Our stuff works.
Yes, true.
The best thing about America is stuff works. You go get a cab, it takes you where you want to go, it drops you off. 9 out of 10 countries, that doesn't happen. Phones work. The lights stay on. Water comes out of the faucet. Our stuff works. And believe me, if you've traveled how I've traveled, and I'm talking about, I didn't go around and watch and look at ruins and go down to water parks and wave at alligators. I went places to work. And you need stuff to work if you need to do business. And I'm not talking about staying at the American-made hotels in Perth, Australia. I'm talking about staying in the places where people live. And nothing works. But in America, you go to the rattiest place in America and stuff still works. You know what I mean? You can get 3 bars on your cell phone and you can walk to a Walmart in the middle of the night and buy whatever you want. And that's what's great about America. And people don't realize that. Yeah. People don't understand what they got. And people say, America, it's gone down the hill. Ugh. Well, you know what? And this is another thing that gets me in trouble. I'm sick of old people complaining. Senior citizens, shut up. If things are really bad, guess what? It's your voting record. You've been voting for 50 years. It's your fault. Roll over and congratulate yourself for creating such a crappy country. Now, I happen to disagree. It's not a crappy country. I happen to think your voting record is just fine because it is a wonderful country. Stuff works. But please quit complaining, because if it is a bad country, it's the country we got to vote for. So let's just kind of relax and let's, whoever is president, hope he does well. I am a little dismayed that, a liberal gets in there and everybody hates him. And now I'm not sure what Trump is, but then Trump, there's liberals, there's conservatives, there's Democrats, there's Republicans, and then there's Trump. There's a new category,
I know. Nobody knows how.
There's independents, there's socialists, there's Trump. I think like 100 years from now, there'll be a category. well, I wonder if another Trump will run. There'll be a guy. I'm a Trump guy. I don't know.
Well, and Rodney, and I've said this on my show before, and other people know, I was not a Trump person in the very beginning. I wasn't sure that he was the right person, but I'll tell you what, I've been impressed. I like the fact that a person comes out who isn't a politician, who hasn't been a career politician, who could come out and can take another and a different approach to America, take a different approach to the economy. Is he going to be perfect president? No. And there is no perfect president. Do I think he loves America? Yes, I do. I really do. And maybe, people think, well, you're just totally fooled about that. I haven't seen anything so far that I would say that I made the wrong decision in President Trump. I hear, Russia, Russia, Russia every other day. I've seen 000 evidence. And I've seen the left try to convince everybody on the right and the public in general that, hey, our accusations, that's all you need. There's no evidence, but accusations are truth. And that's totally wrong.
I actually have something cogent to say about that.
Okay.
If you want to talk about Russia for a second. I haven't seen, I've seen good decisions by Trump. I've seen some stuff I'm not really crazy about, but I have seen one ultra brilliant move. I saw something the other day that I just went, wow, that was a smooth chess-like move. And I have not seen, I'm so glad no one has written about it that I've seen. And I'm so glad no one has talked about it on the show yet, because I was really busy this weekend. And now, I'll just let it out here and I'll write about it this afternoon.
Cool.
But Democrats have been screaming their tushies off. Do you see that? See what I just did?
Self-edited? I did. Yes.
Yeah. And they've been screaming for a special prosecutor. Right. There needs to be an independent prosecutor for this Russia thing. Russia. There needs to be an independent prosecutor. Well, the FBI is already doing a prosecution. That's not enough. We need an independent prosecutor. And they've been screaming. And so now I know it's the Department of Justice that hires or appoints an independent prosecutor. But let's be honest. Trump gives the green light, just like Clinton gave the green light to Janet Reno for the special prosecutor in the 90s. Let's be honest. It's a group decision, even though it becomes from the Department of Justice. And they appointed the other day a special prosecutor. Mueller is his name, correct?
Yes.
Some guy that's above reproach. Nobody says a bad word about him except the crazy people. And he is going to be the special independent prosecutor to get to the bottom of this Trump-Russia thing. And all these Republicans are going, oh, why did you do that? Oh, that's so stupid. There's no evidence. There's no crime. Show me the crime. Even Levin, even people all over television, Hannity, where's the crime? There's no crime to investigate. Why are they doing that? They're giving in to the Democrats. Yeah. And I'm sitting here going, that's the most brilliant thing I have ever seen. Ever. Trump has just out-Trumped all of them. This is great. Want me to tell you why?
Yes, I do.
Here it is in a nutshell. Ask Bill Clinton why he was impeached by the House of Representatives. Ask Bill Clinton how he got caught with Monica Lewinsky. Ask Bill Clinton, ask 17 people who did time as a result of the Whitewater special prosecution. Did time, including a sitting governor, did time. It had nothing to do with the Whitewater special prosecution. Nothing. The Paula Jones thing, the Monica Lewinsky, the impeachment, none of that had to do with the Whitewater special prosecution. But that Whitewater special prosecution too enough. And Trump, knowing that there's nothing there with Russia and him, knows that Mueller has unfettered, he has absolute, complete authority to go down any path that Russia leads him. It can lead to Fast and Furious. It can lead to Benghazi. It can lead to emails. It can lead to servers in Hillary's house. It can lead to this, that, and another. It could lead to this Seth guy getting shot in the back. It can lead to Bernie Sanders. Oh, my God. 2 years from now, Mueller can come out with a report to bring the entire Democrat Party down. It is and then he'll go, oh, Trump and Russia? Oh, there was nothing there.
Well, it's
brilliant.
But here's the other thing. Here's the other side. Mueller and Comey have been friends since 2004. Mueller was appointed under Obama, and he was mentored by Eric Holder. So there are some issues, in my opinion. When I want an independent prosecutor, I kind of want an independent special prosecutor. And I don't want somebody who's been on the Democrat side. And you know, come on, we know that. I know he's been on both sides, but he's been mostly under Obama and Eric Holder.
Nobody in the Republican Party believes this guy is beyond reproach under all, except you apparently.
Yeah, well, no, but I mean,
nobody says a bad word about this guy.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's even bringing up the fact. Well, there may be now a couple of people bringing up the fact that, I mean, they've referred to him as brothers in arms with Comey. Well, if you're brothers in arms with somebody that is going to be, he's going to be part of the Russian investigation. How much is he going to go after his brother in arms?
There's nothing there.
Well, there is a connection. I mean, with Comey, there's a connection with the Clintons. There's a connection, you know, in the past. So, I mean, is he going to bring that out about Comey if need be? I know there's nothing about Comey in the memo, you know.
I think absolutely yes. I don't think Comey had a darn thing to do with Russia. I don't think he has a darn thing to do. But you know what? There's a meeting with Bill Clinton on the tarmac with what's her name? There's Hillary. There's Hillary and her servers. That's completely unanswered. There's Hillary and Benghazi completely. All of that spider web, and Mueller can go to all of it. All he has to do is follow any path, anywhere. It is absolutely brilliant. And you know, there's no talk about Russia anymore. We appointed a special prosecutor. That question's done. It's over.
Well, but look at it this way. How long is this investigation going to take? Because we have an election coming. Well, I know, and that's the problem. We have an election coming up in 2018.
Oh, no. He'll come up. His findings will come out just before that election.
I hope so. I really hope so. Because
it absolutely will.
The Democrats have a whole summer planned with resistance and, you know, with Hillary's onward together and, you know, whatever, of trying to unseat the Republicans in 2018. That concerns me.
This whole Russia's coming thing is blowing it for the Democrats. In 2018, it is very natural. It is very historically, I mean, it's a thing that they're going to pick up seats in the off season. The other team always does. It's almost unheard of that the other team doesn't pick up seats in the House and the Senate in the next election. It's natural. It's a natural thing. They're not talking about anything except Russia. People aren't buying it. Nobody's buying it. In fact, they're looking at the Democrats going, what are you going to do about this, that, this, that, this, that, this? And the Democrats are going, Russia, 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 Russia. They sound like people who buy a new Apple phone every time it comes out. It ain't playing. They've shot themselves in the foot. And if that's their strategy, if Hillary's strategy is Donald Trump stole the election, they're screwing themselves for 2018. They will not pick up a seat.
I hope you're right, because I would love to see that in 2018 where the Republicans go in there and they keep their seats and pick up more. I mean, I think that would be so wonderful, because there's not been one shred of evidence with Russia that Russia even interfered with our election. And even if they did, they didn't do anything to change the election. They've already said that nothing happened, but they continue to want to just, with the Saul Alinsky, say it long enough, loud enough, and the public will start to believe it. And they want to condemn this president in the public forum. And he's over there right now. He's doing a great job. He's going to come back and they're going to start up again. They're just waiting for him to come back, and then they go out and they attack, like David Clark, Sheriff Clark, over the weekend. Oh, well, he plagiarized it when in his master's thesis, because he didn't put quotation marks in there, but he put footnotes and he gave credit. I mean, come on. How far do we have to go to try to get to Trump?
You honestly think that swings a vote?
I hope not. I hope not.
Seriously, do you think that swings a single vote?
I don't think that's going to swing a vote, but I think they want to continue attacking Trump's administration, and some of those attacks will swing a vote, And now Michael Flynn is going to
believe attacking Trump's administration swings a single vote, and I think I agree with you that that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's going to kill him. I think that is absolutely a strategy that is insanity. I can't believe. In fact, I can't even believe, as good as they are at that type of strategy, I can't believe that's what they're doing. That they're not doing a reset and saying, okay, how did we lose Pennsylvania? How did we lose this state? How did we lose this category of voter? How did we lose that category of voter? And let me tell you, Susan, this Trump or no Trump, I don't care who got elected president. If Hillary would have got elected president, this economy was going to get better. The pendulum swings. No matter what the rules are, the people who live in this country are smarter than all them politicians put together. We are going to figure out a way to make this economy better. We're way smarter than they are. And this economy was going and is going to get better. I can see it. Everybody can see it. It's getting better. There's charter schools popping up. There's new construction. It's getting better. And you know who's going to get the what word am I looking for?
The credit.
You know who's going to get the credit? Whoever is president. And if Hillary was president, she'd get the credit. Now Trump's president. Now he may be helping it. He may not be helping it, but he is going to get the credit. And if the economy is better in a year and a half than it is now, the Democrats are screwed.
Yeah.
They are. It's over, because they're going to be criticizing the administration, and the people who voted for Trump last time are going to go, well, yeah, but I just got a raise. So I think things are pretty cool with the administration.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a great improvement. It's already, unemployment is at 4.4%, which is, we're headed in the right direction. Rodney, we are out of time. Hour, I'm telling you, it always flies when you come on. I want to thank you so much for being here. Everybody, go listen to Rodney Lee Conover. Read his stuff at joeforamerica.com and ihavethetruth.com. Rodney, until we see you again, thanks so much for being here. Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Thanks, Susan.